Well, good afternoon, Amazeum friends.
Hello.
It's Joel here. Paul's here. We're all here. We are in the Tinkering Hub as usual. Well, we're calling this the workshop now.
Yeah.
Okay, workshop. And we have been doing some Tuesday shenanigans. Today, we decided to make one of these.
This was an extensive shenanigan.
This was a day-long shenanigan.
What we got here, Paul?
Well, what we have here is a fine piece of vintage Schwinn bicycle with the wheel.
Yes.
We have a drill that's vintage itself, and then we kind of tinkered up a contraption in order to make the wheel spin at a regular rate.
This is totally a contraption. This is it's a really good example, though, of prototyping a little idea, right? This week, we're exploring Mechanimation. So Mechanimation, as we define it, because I don't know if anyone else says Mechanimation, but as we define Mechanimation, we're animating anything that's animated in a mechanical means.
Exactly.
Right?
It's like a mashup.
Right. It's not digital.
No, it's a mashup between mechanical and animation.
Yeah.
So you're taking a figure, making it move how you want it to move using mechanical means. We're not doing any digital manipulation, although we do have a little bit of technology involved.
We do. We have a little tech involved, but it's fun tech. Mostly it's machine, and it's our favorite kind of machine. We're using a bicycle.
Simple machine too.
Oh yeah, we love our bikes. So here's what we got. We got a bicycle. We've got these figures. So we have 18 figures. You have a regular 36 spoke, 26 inch wheel. Yeah. So we've got 18 spokes on this side, 18 spokes on the back side. Didn't do a good job of truing this ahead of time, but that's okay.
It's vintage, Joel.
It is vintage. And we have these 18 figures. So as you look through it, each one of these 18 figures has a little bit of movement. So the way animation works is you have a drawing, usually, right? Each drawing in the cycle is a little different from the drawing that came in front of it, right? So we have this little bit of movement happening, and we've got basically 6 figures repeated 3 times, right? So 18 figures. As the wheel turns, it's going to reach a speed where our eyes can't tell the difference between the objects, basically, and that's called persistence of vision. So we can only see, so many frames per second. So we get the speed of this up. In theory, we get the speed up to a certain point, and then if we blink really fast, then...
Or disrupt your vision.
Oh, that's a much better way to do it.
You disrupt your vision on a regular interval.
Blinking made me really dizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard to blink on a regular interval.
So instead, we did a little coding.
This is the tech part.
This is the tech part. This is my part. So we got to program an Arduino. So I have an Arduino that it's probably running at about 40 hertz, something like that. We're getting one blink that's on for, so it's on for 1/1000th of a second. Then it's off for 45 thousandths of a second, which is so fast, so fast. A little faster than that, and we probably wouldn't even see it blink, honestly. We basically get in a dark room, make the wheel spin, make the light blink, and then what happens, Paul?
What happens is that the figures appear to be animated. They appear to be going through a motion, as if you were actually watching each step of the way. So it's similar to the way old movies work.
Right.
Right. Old movies used to have to show a frame at a certain rate for the projection on the screen to be animated, to be seen, so that your eye could see it. So they used to use gears on the film so that they could keep the speed constant.
That's why the holes, right?
Exactly. Now most of that is digital now. Most of it's just done digitally.
Yeah.
It's, you don't see film anymore. But this is even before film.
Yes.
Before film.
We had penny operas, right? You could go into a penny arcade, and you'd have these little machines that you wooden or cast iron boxes, and it would just have a series of photographs on a wheel, kind of like an old-fashioned Rolodex, and you turn a crank, and there'd be a light inside, and as you turn that crank, it was kind of like a really advanced flip book. We've created a little something in celebration of the fact that we're doing Mechanimation. And then all week, we're going to be doing zoetrope, which this is technically a zoetrope. We're going to be doing drawings for zoetropes. We're going to be making flip books. And we're going to do some really simple little animations that everyone can do. And it's a great little thing to take home all week long.
Yeah, and this is actually a reproduction of a very famous zoetrope. Duchamp.
Oh, Duchamp. Well, okay, this is an homage to Duchamp. I'll go with that. If you don't know who Duchamp is, you'll have to Google him. Look up Duchamp, and you'll understand what we mean. So we have a bicycle wheel mounted on a stool, very classic Duchamp, and a beautiful little zoetrope. This has been a fun build.
It has been a fun build. We'll have to see what we take on next time.
Probably not something that'll take us all day, but it's been great.
Yeah, we actually did film all of our failures that went into it. So
we did.
You know, we learned through failing. We learned through trial and error. And we also learned by playing around with stuff, and that's exactly what we did as we made this wonderful homage to Duchamp's.
Yeah, and this has been really fun.
Zoetrope.
I love it.
See you next time for more
Tuesday
Shenanigans in the workshop.